Whew. So it is October 20th, 2015, and my beard being gone is not the only surprise that shocked the world today. Um, we also had, about approximately 45 minutes ago, Nintendo released essentially what is a trailer for the new Nintendo console. I'm just fucking happy it's finally here. I've literally been holding every emotion I've had about the Nintendo NX and been keeping it to myself, mainly because every single thing we've heard has been nothing but rumor. There's some harder evidence towards some more than others, but just the pure speculation, it bothered me to an extent, to the point where instead of opening my mouth and running it all over like some people will do, I decided to just keep it to myself. And I've speculated over it with people, and that was enough for me. I didn't feel like I needed to make a video and to spout my ideas and to spread potential rumors. So instead, I've waited until this very moment to finally speak out on it, because now the Nintendo NX has been given a name, it has a look to it, and I'm actually quite excited about it. We are talking about the Nintendo Switch. Now, that's definitely different than Wii U kind of deal. It's got a new logo, and I like the logo. I like the look of the system, and it still is showing its Nintendo, I should say, is still showing its gimmicky side to its systems with this console. However, this one just there's some charm about this system that I can't get over. That's not to say that I don't think any gimmick system from Nintendo like the Wii or the Wii U didn't have its pluses and minuses, if you will. But there is something about this system. It could also be that it's just brand new, but I really do see this having potential. Now, keep in mind, this trailer simply shows off the look of the system. It's obvious that there was a Legend of Zelda game, Breath of the Wild, tested. You could see people playing Breath of the Wild on this system. Then there was also what looked like a new platforming Mario game. Looked like they were playing Mario Kart and Splatoon and NBA basketball and one or two others. I think there was even Mario Kart and everything on it. Now, when I saw like the Mario Kart, it almost looked like it was Mario Kart 8, which I don't know. I think that was just the footage that they put up there to let you know that they are in the works of a Mario game. I'm sorry to spread that rumor, but that's just my thought, especially with like Splatoon 2, same thing. It looked like game footage that was Wii U footage. Now, I don't know if that means that there's going to be a Splatoon made for this system, but I don't see why they wouldn't anyway. So it's safe to assume that that's something that they could be working on in the future, if that's not something they're working on right now. Now, out of all the rumors that were spouted about this Nintendo system, which we can now call the Nintendo Switch, there was one specifically, actually no, there were two specifically that were true, and I'm like, through speculation with friends and everything, I'm not disappointed that they're true. It certainly seems a bit skeptical, but I would have to try it for myself to find out for sure. And the first thing, of course, is that it is definitely a hybrid home console and handheld. And I think it looks really cool. Like, I do really like the idea. And like some people were talking about with the controller, they were thinking that they would have something the size of a gamepad, and that you'd have your two sides, you'd hold it just like the gamepad. But then when you were looking to take it on the go, or I'm sorry, yeah, when you were looking to take it on the go, there would be a time where you could actually set the screen down and you can detach like two sides of the controller yourself, and then from what it looks like it act kind of like Wii controllers, like a Wii remote and a nunchuck. So, but it detaches from the screen as well, and that I'm skeptical, but the Wii worked. Like you can fight me all you want, you can tell me the Wii is a piece of shit, but the controller scheme, like it or not, worked. And with VR and shit exploding and having like motion controllers and stuff, Nintendo got it right first. They also were one of the first ones to try it and fail, but just like Edison and the light bulb, he finally got it right. And so did Nintendo, and I believe Nintendo got it right first. You can feel, if I am wrong, if by any means, feel free to comment down below. But from my knowledge, Nintendo got it right first. And this doesn't look like something extremely far-fetched. This isn't super gimmicky to the point where it's something we've never seen before, and we feel like it's not something that is obtainable at the moment. Especially now that VR is kicking back off again. It's been decades since we've had VR as a viable option for entertainment, and now VR is fucking everywhere. As far as who can own it, well, you gotta have the bills for that, but it's out there. It's not out of reach. And the look of this is not something that seems out of reach. Nintendo has already done the gamepad thing, which is a controller you can use to play on it, and you have a docking station that literally surrounds the gamepad that the Switch is going to have, and it just locks in the... I'm assuming it locks into place. I don't think it just sits there and it can just move or however, but it can just sit there. And then something that I'm sure people would speculate and get all pissy about, but they do have controllers. I don't know if it's going to come with the system, but they do have a separate, just normal controller like the Wii U Pro controller. It looks a little sleeker and nicer, almost kind of looks like a PS4 controller, which I do like. So it does have a controller. You don't have to play with this lunky like gamepad. You can play with a controller. So all those people bitching and complaining about the Wii U gamepad can be quiet now, because there's a fucking controller. You can fucking play the games on this console with a controller. So I think Nintendo really pulled out the stops here, and I feel pulled out the stops with still sticking to true them, always trying to innovate, trying to do something different, taking risks. So they're staying true to themselves, but at the same time, I feel like they are listening to their fans. I'm sure there are some things that we ask for that are not obtainable. So we have to kind of be human beings and not fly off the handle because, oh, it's gimmicky, blah, blah, blah. Everyone should really give this a shot before they judge this. Now, as I think I mentioned before, this basically showed off the console. It's got a name now. It's got a look, and we all have our own separate feelings about it. However, they have not released the actual specs of the system yet. On top of that, I think I need to backtrack a little bit. There was one other thing about this, because there was another rumor about this that was true, is that it is using basically 3DS cartridges, which I have no problem with. I do enjoy physical media. Like, I mean, I've always enjoyed it. That's not even like a question, not even something I'm thinking about. It is a little weird that we are now switching from CDs to these little flashcards, basically. But it's not a bad thing. Not by any means at all. I don't feel like this is a bad thing at all. It's gonna be interesting because I'm now used to these big cases with these big discs and everything. And yes, we had the 3DS and the DS, which were using the cartridges and stuff, but I had this predetermined notion in my head that this is going to be a handheld console with these little cartridges. I mean, it makes sense, right? But now we have a home console that is also a portable, and its form of physical media is now going to be these little cartridges. Not to mention, I just don't like small things. I lose things all the time, so I'm going to have to be extra careful with it, because you're probably going to be paying 50-60 bucks per game, and you're going to be getting these little cartridges, unlike when you just had 3DS and DS games and they were released for $30 and $40, and you get this little thing. But I mean, either way, the big thing that comes out of this, and I think something that is smart of Nintendo cost-wise and just in general, is that now our newest Nintendo home console is both a home console and a handheld, which is going to completely cut the cost of having to have a handheld division and a home console division. They're now merging together essentially, and they're going to be working on this stuff night and day, and that's great. I think it's absolutely awesome. They've finally, like, this is kind of one of those moments where it's like, they've finally done it. They've finally done it. It's this, like, I don't want to say that I'm completely blown away by this, because with all the speculation, the fact that I'm seeing it with my own eyes is amazing. It's not super mind-blowing simply because these are rumors that have held a little bit of weight. So as much as I just didn't let it get to me, it doesn't shock me that some of these rumors are true. I'm just glad all the rumors that were ridiculous and absolutely friggin' stupid, and it makes me want to slap the person over the head who decided to spread it, that those rumors aren't true. But the ones that actually held some weight are the ones that look like great ideas. It's gimmicky, sure, but gimmicky is not always bad. And I'm going to go back to the Wii. The Wii was not a bad system, and I enjoy playing my Wii. There's a bunch of great games. There's a ton of shovelware, but there's a bunch of great games in there. You just gotta find them and communicate with people and find out which are the good games, which are the bad ones, and go from there. That's, I mean, hell, when we fucking had Blockbuster and shit, that's what we used to do. We used to go to a store, we used to pick up a game, we would look at it and decide if we wanted it. And if we still weren't sure, you could ask an employee, and they could try to help you. And if they couldn't, you're still only renting the game. You rent the game, you give it a shot. If it sucks, it sucks. So what? That's $5 or however much. And during the end of Blockbuster's life, it used to be even cheaper to rent shit. So I would say, until the specs for this come out, I would say just sit on what we are given and just be glad that it's finally happened and it's finally out there, because it's about time, Nintendo. If there was definitely one thing you've been doing wrong, is you've been giving us too little. And it's possible that for some you're too late, but for the people who absolutely have loved your system since day one, I am patient. I am a very patient person. And even some of the impatient people are going to stick with you because they love the products that you put out. So, was it a good or bad decision that we're just finally seeing a system and getting a full name and all this stuff now? Is it a bad thing? It certainly probably wasn't the best decision, but we are finally getting news, and I am extremely psyched, and I cannot wait to try this system out myself. The last system I bought within the first 3 months to 6 months of its release was the Nintendo Wii. The Nintendo Switch, that we can now finally call this new Nintendo system, might be the next one that I pick up within the first year of its release. I'm excited. I really am excited. I don't know what to expect, but now that we finally see something, I can start to draw my own conclusions, and I can finally figure out just what's going on with Nintendo. And like I said, I'm excited. I love Nintendo. I love you guys so much. I just can't. I can't imagine this system being a flop, anything like the Wii U essentially was, and I can see this doing even better than the GameCube as well. I really can. I think this system has very, very much potential. As long as the specs kind of fall into place and we see a console that is obviously superior to the Wii U, but it really is going to need to be superior than the Xbox One and PS4 as well. And I think we might have that. And on a quick side note before I end this, some of the gameplay footage that they were showing, my cats are arguing. I don't even know if you can hear them. Some of the gameplay footage that they were showing of the kids who were playing the Nintendo Switch, some of it, like I said, looked like it was Wii U games like Splatoon and Mario Kart. However, the Mario platforming game that they were playing looked like nothing I've ever seen. It's possible that it may have been something that was in Mario 3D World, because in all honesty, I still haven't played it. I have it now, but I haven't played it yet. It is possible that it's gameplay from Mario 3D World, and if you know that, leave that down below. I would like to know. Anyone who has seen this preview already, or you need to go see this, you need to at least check it out, see what you think of it. But someone let me know in the comments below if the Mario platforming game that you see, the one, I think it was a girl playing it, the footage looked like a game I had never seen before, and it looked crisp and fucking great. It was very vibrant and everything. I think that could possibly be like a Mario platformer that is going to be on this system. Which brings me to my final last point. I keep coming up with them as I'm doing this video. It would have to be its launch titles. That is going to be very important for the system too, to find out what its launch titles are. Obviously, you're going to have Zelda, but you're going to need more, because there are people who aren't fans of Zelda but are a fan of Nintendo. I don't think I've met one, but I'm sure there's someone out there. So, and especially if this Mario platforming game that I'm looking at is not Mario 3D World and it's something no one has ever seen, then right off the bat, you can speculate at least that you have Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda, and a Mario platformer. But on top of that, you can speculate even further and say, well, they showed gameplay footage of Splatoon, they showed gameplay footage of a Mario Kart. It is possible the reason why they did that was because they're working on those games, which could also potentially lead to them being launch titles for the new console. So that makes me excited too. It's not something I'm going to hold concrete, but I'm speculating over it. You never know. I mean, this could be what used to be called the Year of Nintendo. It's possible. It's very possible. I am really excited. I have my doubts, obviously, but I'm excited. I love Nintendo products. Everything they've ever released has had its perks. It sure has its windfalls, but it certainly has positives, and I can't wait for this system. And that's going to be it, guys. I mean, I feel like I ramble on way too far about this stuff, but there's a lot to digest here. I'm probably going to watch this video a couple more times just to see if there's anything else I've caught. I've literally only watched this once and immediately came to my computer. I mean, even though I was already on it, but I came right to my camera, and I wanted to tell you guys about it. Please, leave your comments down below. I want to know what you guys think of it, especially all the questions I've been asking during this video. I want to know all this stuff. I want to know your opinions. And of course, if this is your first video, hit the subscribe button. If it's not your first video, I'm just glad you came back. Hit the like button, leave comments, and like I said, subscribe if you are not subscribed. And until next time, guys, peace out.